This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Money Live, and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Welcome to Keith and Lee's Don't Get Me Started. Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Keith.
It's been an interesting week this week, Keith. It's been up and down and roundabout. It's been unusual because we like to be busy. We like to be at it. But I think somebody's put the brake on somewhere and me anyway, I've gone to an enormous stop. But how's it feel for you?
Well, just as busy. I know what you're referring to because you have the week always planned and your weeks pretty much follow a similar sort of pattern, and that's all been thrown out for you. But personally, I find that I've got so many little loose ends I have to tie up. I'm running around like a headless chook, with a chicken with his head cut off, doing this, doing that, tying that together, putting this process in place and doing a few other things. So I'm relishing the freedom away from a set routine. So it's been good.
Yeah, but you're going away, so you've got all these little things you have to get right and in place.
Yes, I do.
And then you're off and you're off, Mully. You're on a big plane off to God knows where. Mate, I don't know whether I see you again, like I said before, but if I don't, it's been a hell of a ride. Thanks, brother.
Well, you're not the only person who's inferred that I'm going into wild badlands, but that's not the case. It's quite a civilised place that I'm going to, and it's a well-worn route that a lot of other people go on. It's just that a lot of people from Australia don't go to the particular destination that I'm going to, so they kind of freak out a little bit. They go, oh, really? Oh, how do you get there? Oh, is it safe? Oh, well, it is. It exists. It's a country, and it's okay. And then when I tell them it's Kazakhstan, the next thing they're going to say, they're going to talk about Borat. And it's like, yeah, right.
I like.
Okay.
You'll come see me, kid.
I'm looking forward to the day that, I'm going to ask around when I'm over there to see if the Kazakhs have got a similar spoof they've done on the American news. You ever seen those YouTube clips of Americans? I shouldn't say this because we've got devoted listeners in America, and hello to all you guys and gals in Utah.
Yes.
Who are our faithful listeners.
And this is unscripted, so whatever Keith's going to say, he's just going to say it.
Well, there's a video clip or a couple of reels these days of this one particular guy who goes onto university campuses in America, and he asks them very basic questions. He goes up to the students and he said, "No, you're a university student, right? Would you consider yourself an intelligent person?" "Oh, yeah, of course I am." "Can you name any 2 countries in the world outside of the USA?" Oh, there's Africa, which is a continent with something like 20, about 30 or more countries. I don't know exactly. Oh, and Canada. American university students, right? I know that it could have been selective. He could have come across some real Einsteins. He just went bang, 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 bang with the answers, right? But from what I've heard from quite a few other people, this is quite typical. Being an Aussie, I can't put the boot in too much because I'm sure I remember a student of mine a couple of years ago, I said to them, "How many minutes in quarter of an hour?" 25. I said, okay.
So this all came from Borat?
Well, I'm looking forward to the day that the Kazakhs throw up a character who goes over to America.
I'm sure they do, mate. I'm sure they've got some form of comedy that takes the mickey out of all different nationalities around the world. The British are good at it.
Actually, so are the Russians. When I was up there maybe 7 years ago, I was dining in one of the relatives' flats, and all of a sudden everybody up at the table, there's about 12 of them, just got up and ran to the television. And I said to Lily, "What's going on?" They said, "Oh, such and such a comedian is on."
Well, I'd like to give a big shout out to Mr. Gary Gossell. I rang him this week. I had to ask him a few little questions about what was on my mind. I've been discussing with you about some certain issues concerning the podcast that we've done. And thanks, Gary. I appreciate your honesty. I've listened to what you've had to say. You've sort of semi-said what I was thinking anyway, but we have to ring our top guys, and you're one of our top guys. You've been with us from the very beginning, and he's told me, which is marvellous news, and I don't know whether I should share it, but there's only a few people that listen to us. They're going to be grandparents. Gary and Julie.
Are they? I mean a few people. You mean a few 100,000?
Well,
across the globe.
A few countries and a few cities, but well done, Gary and Gemma. Well done. You'll make wonderful grandparents. I've always said It's always been the most special cap that I can wear. I enjoy it every time with mine, and I look forward to seeing the photos, mate. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
We'll have to get him a T-shirt.
Saying,
don't get me started with Keith and Lee. Well, I've had an
get
order.
him a hoodie. Have you got a few spare ones about?
Oh, no, I have to get some more done. I've had an order. Lee, tis good to see you. It's good to see you, mate. I'm sitting across the desk. You do look well.
Thank you, mate. You look good too, as well. I don't know about the pink Mambo. That's got me looking at pink. So, but you like pink?
No, I don't. I have an aversion to it, really.
Well, why are you wearing it?
Well, it's just a perfect fit. It's good fabric texture that goes with the climate. Yeah, I'm going to get permanent markers and get rid of that pink.
Paint it black.
Yeah. Go over the top. Not paint it blue.
Good on you, mate. Well, you got to keep warm.
Yeah. You have to be comfortable. You wear and you make sure you're comfortable according to the climate. You have to read the day as much as you have to read other things in life.
In Queensland at the moment, we're being hammered by a month's worth. Being hammered by a month's worth of rain in one day. So tomorrow's going to be beautiful sunshine, but it's been wet, it's been damp, it's been cold, as I can tell with you, Mully, because you're wrapped up like a pig in a blanket.
Well, the gardeners and the ducks will be happy, won't they, all this rain? So,
they love it, mate.
All the grass and the gardens, you'll hear them growing when that sunshine basks upon them in the next couple of days. You're going to have to be careful with the weather because I'm going to northern Kazakhstan, which geographically is actually in Siberia. So even though it's summer up there, the height of summer, you can still can be quite coolish compared to an Australian summer. And then from there, I'm coming home via Vietnam, which will be quite tropical.
Now, I spoke to a lady yesterday. Her name was Natalie, lovely lady, and she come back from Vietnam and she went to Da Nang.
Yes.
And she was saying, it was quite grubby. There's a lot of building work going on, which made it a little bit awkward. But it's got to be done, she said, right? It's got to be done. And I suppose it does. But I'm thinking, I've got a colleague that's coming back through Vietnam. And she said, I'll just make him aware that it's a little bit dangerous. She said, because there's no health and safety there. And so when we were walking down to grab a taxi to go somewhere, they were doing the building work and they were just sweeping off all bits of glass and building and rubble straight off into the road. Anybody's walking there. There's no bollards and you get our lovely little lollipop people, stop, go. So don't go over there, Molly, and get shards of glass in the back of your neck.
I won't. Well, I'm not just going to Da Nang, I'm going to do a couple of other places. Yeah, but thanks for that little tip, Lee. I'll keep it in mind. It's always good to be aware where you're treading, isn't it?
Topic time.
Well, yes. I keep thinking about something that a man said to me years ago, and he flicked up his wrist to look at his wristwatch, and he said, let's see what the old enemy's got to say.
Yeah.
And I was a young man when that happened. Over the years, that stayed with me. But I got to thinking, that's a great topic. Is time really our enemy or is it our friend? Some of these questions that we come up with to discuss on our Don't Get Me Started DGMS episodes actually kind of can be answered quite easily, really, can't they?
Yeah, I think so. But with this one, it made me think because I've never really looked at time as being an enemy or a friend.
But it obviously is because in one sense in life, that's just about all that we've got. Everybody has time. Now, not everybody might have a fur coat, but everybody has time. So what do you do with it? Do you work with it? Do you drift with it? Or do you let it dictate to you? Because time has its own momentum and it does famously reveal everything. Time will tell you everything.
Well, that's if time exists. So there's one thing, but I won't get into that.
Why not?
Well, because there's more I want to get onto. So it depends on how you look at it. To me, it's like a neutral canvas that acts as both, depending on your mindset, your perspective, and how you manage it. Because time is always going to be there if we believe time exists, because time from a second to a minute to an hour to a day, month, year. And so you're up against time or you're racing against time. I don't know whether this is politically correct of how I should put this, but time and tide wait for no man. Now, is it no person now? I don't know because it changes every time.
Yeah, well, no, you can stick with the original quote because I believe it was said at a time when the reference no man meant every single human being, whether you're a male or a female. But in an age, not just so much of political correctness, but where there's not a lot of latitude in a lot of things, and people have lost their sense of humour in some of these areas as well. So we're so earnest about so many things. Oh, man, you mean human?
Person.
Human.
There's no
person.
manhole cover anymore. It's person cover. But so if I've said it incorrectly, I apologise. Time is limited. So you only have 24 hours in a day, which can cause you stress when you're juggling with work.
That could
you're
be your
juggling
enemy.
with your house. That's right. So let's take it as the enemy for the moment. And your personal life. Time is tied to aging.
Well, see, that all makes me believe that time does exist, because you said you have to work towards getting something done in a 24-hour period. And then you say also you age. So if you eliminate time, how do you equate for a cycle?
Of course it exists, because we are run by it. We get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and we have smoke over at 10 and we have lunch at 1. We are ruled by it. Mm-hmm. But my thing of time, does time exist, or is it just the now? Or is it just me passing through? If we didn't have days, weeks, months, how do we know it was January or February or March? It's time. Time will come, time will go. It's just time. It's a blank canvas. It's a neutral canvas, I think time is. Like I said, it just depends on your mindset, your perspective, and how you manage it.
Well, it hasn't always been a blank page, because before we had clocks that gave us time, seconds, minutes, hours, etc., what about the people who, before the Industrial Revolution, who lived an agricultural life that were governed by the seasons? They were governed by the change of the weather. You know, all of a sudden the cold has come, then the snow and the ice.
Yeah, you're talking seasons, not time.
Well, seasons would be an indication
They used to measure time with candles, so they would put lines through the candle.
But when they saw the changing of the seasons, they might not have had a concept of time, but they had a concept of things that have changed because something has moved on to the next. The past, what was, has gone away and is finished, and we have the now, and then also we have what's coming. Because when winter starts, say on a Tuesday, and the first snowflake falls, you know that Wednesday is still going to be winter.
Is that biblical? You get biblical on me again, Mully.
No, there's no biblicalness in that.
So when I say neutral canvas, it can act as both.
Yes.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. Also, with time, it creates deadlines and pressure on deadlines, and unmet timelines often feel like a ticking clock working against your goals.
Well, there you go.
So that's the enemy.
Yes.
Time's against us. I'm up against time.
Yes.
Mully, I haven't got time for this.
Yeah, well, I've got to go.
Yeah, your favourite saying I'm going to put on your tombstone. Mully was here, but
I said,
I've got to go. And he's gone.
oh, jeez. If time is the enemy, how could it be our enemy?
I think we make it our enemy because it's about us trying to get stuff done within the 24-hour period. And it's down to us to manage our time more, better, more productive. We can waste time.
We can put into place a process that has to finish because it will bring about a result. And if we procrastinate or are lazy and we don't finish it by a certain time or finish it according to how it should be done, then the consequence could be quite serious.
We only have 24 hours. It's a working day, 8 hours maybe.
Supposedly.
So you've got to do a lot in 8 hours, but people think, oh, no, that's perfectly fine. They have constructed their lives to fit in with that time frame.
Yes. It can be our enemy if we don't use the time that we have. Well, let's not even call it time. The now that we have, because we're alive and we can do things, we can think and we can use our hands and we can create. If we don't use the now and the attributes and abilities that we have to do what we have to do right now, then it could be neglectful, and it could mean that we don't have the consequence that we like or the outcome that we want. So we haven't used the now, which the now essentially is time.
I like the now.
Essentially, it's the only time we've got, isn't it?
I think everybody should live in the now. Not what happened yesterday, not what's going to happen in the future. What's happening now? I could be in the now like this with you talking on the podcast forever because I love this environment. I love having chats with you. The makeup of what it is, I look forward to it. The time that I spend with you is well spent.
Yeah, ditto, and likewise, my good man. Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, that's okay, Mully.
So the now essentially is the only time that we have. So we have to use it wisely, don't we?
Absolutely.
And therefore, it's neither our enemy or our friend. But I suppose it's your friend. If you're using it wisely, then it is your friend, isn't it?
Well, let's get on to friends in a minute because, again, it depends on how you look at it. Who we are now as two individuals have spent different amounts of time in different amounts of places. And have you used that time well? Have you used it productively? Can you say, I've had a great time. I've had a fantastic time. It was time well spent. They're the positives of it. Or the negatives are, I've wasted my time.
Well, that's a very interesting question. There's a 10-year period in my life where I was in a particular situation and place that I didn't really want to be. And so personally, it was very unsatisfactory. But I paid my taxes and I never went to jail.
Yet.
So from that point of view, it was time well spent. I didn't violate any of my important relationships.
Oh, I don't know whether I'd own up to that.
No, I didn't. And I didn't
Lay claim on that, Mully.
And I committed no grievous harm towards my fellow man / woman. So that was time well spent. But it was a very bleak time for my own personal soul.
Time well spent.
So, yes, from one perspective, it was time well spent. And also they were great years for my kids. I had to put a lot of time into them. So it was time well spent from quite a few perspectives. But from another perspective, it was dreadful.
So do you miss your time as a father?
Yes and no.
But the time with your children was well spent. It was
absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Monumentally a godsend that you loved every second of that time.
I wouldn't say every second. Changing dirty nappies wasn't fun. Had a few other.
But you did it. You spent time.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Well, I'll tell you what it gives you. It gives you purpose. It gives you a reason to get up and get moving and to get out and do things because you have to look after other people. We live in a Western society that is geared for the individual to live a good life that pleases the individual. That's kind of a standard marker of living in our individualistic, material Western society. There are many societies that think of the collective, where you belong to the village or you belong to the extended family. We're down to the nuclear family. And in fact, we're almost retreated further from that to be down to the solo. We've got so many households where there's only one person in it. But if you attach to other people in a nuclear family, say mum, dad, 2 kids, or an extended family, cousins, uncles, aunties, all close by, or even the village, or even you're serving the state or something, you are not necessarily living for yourself. So you may not be enjoying it from, I can't go surfing as much as I like because I've got to run the kids off to Boy Scouts, blah, 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 whatever, right? I can't buy that book I wanted to get because I've got to buy a school uniform, blah, blah, blah. So you're not living for yourself. So that can be some bleak period in your life, but you are serving and giving to somebody else, which can be very good for purifying your soul. And it may not be satisfying your soul from a personal perspective, but you're becoming almost, dare I say it, saint-like because you're living for somebody else.
Yeah, but you're losing me now. How does that all equate to time?
I got a bit off the track.
Yeah.
I realised that halfway through
So
the
when
rant.
I do editing on these podcasts,
You better leave that one in.
There's a fluff section, and it gets rid of fluff, which means nothing to do with the podcast. So you've been fluffing around again, Mully.
I saw your eyes glaze over a bit towards the end. And
I'm thinking he's getting somewhere with this. He's got, Mully moment.
Yeah, but it's all right.
It's all right, mate. It's fine. We haven't wasted time.
No, we haven't.
We've used it. So let's talk about time as a friend.
Okay.
So where would you evaluate time as a friend for Keith McMullen?
Well, it would have to be off the top of my head. I hadn't really thought about this, but so I would answer, would have to be in line with those 2 things I was just raving about. One, where I'm doing something to satisfy myself, and also where I'm doing something worthwhile for my family or others that are important to me. Or even it could be, that's it. That's the general answer.
Okay. For me, it allows growth, our age, who we are. So for that, it gives you practice. It gives you time to practice on surfing, being a father, like you're probably saying, gives you time to practice. Patience, which I don't have a lot of, which I'm getting better at, and consistency over time to build skills and the things that I learn from you every now and again, Mully. Could you guess what it is?
No.
It's going to shock you.
It will.
Wisdom.
You're kidding.
So the goodness of time,
Say that again.
wisdom, the goodness of time.
No, say that again.
Wisdom.
No, what you learned from me, you buffhead.
Oh, I'm not going to say that, Molly. You've had enough of this, mate.
A compliment. I want to hear it again.
So, time to be a friend, it allows for growth. And at our ages, of course, you will always be that person who is my yardstick because I measure everything that you're doing. I think, oh, great, if Molly can do that, I can do that later on.
Oh,
Sweet as, good at. So I'm using that time. That can be your friend. And we have to use that time that we have from our time as from a father to a grandfather or as from a son to a brother. It's so important to use your wisdom that you have and to partake in it, to use it. I think time is an incredible thing. It doesn't exist if you look at it the way I do sometimes, because I have the quiet times where, as you know, time, I think, stands still. So there is that to it. But yes, there's another thing it does, which is a positive, which is a friend, not an enemy. It heals trauma. It gives you distance from that time in your life where it would be the loss of your favourite toy, hardships, wounds to mend, emotional pain to ease. Time gives you that. It never fully heals, as we know, with our tragedies that we have in life and yet to have, but at least it would give you time and also the opportunity for wisdom to kick in, to use that time as well. It gives life meaning. Do you think, would you agree on that? Time gives life meaning?
Only if you use and invest it the best that you can. With some, I hesitate to use the word wisdom because I don't think you have to be too wise to use your time well, but it's common sense. That's how I would describe it. I would agree, yes, Lee.
So knowing our time is limited, it makes the choices and the goals we set and our relationship act very deeply because we have only got a limited amount of time.
Yes.
A limited amount of summers, winters.
Yes.
So on and so on. I mean, how many winters do you think you got left, Molly?
Well, it's hard to know because
it could be 20.
Yeah, well, it could be 30, could be 2. My father used to say, when your time is up, your time is up.
Yeah.
You know, and
I believe that too.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure I do. Let's see what happens because I could walk out of here, right? We're sitting in this studio. It's a wonderful environment. We love being here. We love talking to our microphones and each other. It's a beautiful, modern, clean setting and very safe. And we live in a very safe town. You know, the streets are safe. There's no street violence. There's no bombs or drones whistling around. But I could walk out here today and there's a big, massive tree across the road where my car is parked. And it could go crash, come down and hit the top of my car as I shut the door before I turn the engine on. Bang, there goes Keith. He's eliminated.
But if you would have said, sorry, mate, I've got to go, if you'd have just waited a couple of seconds later, but see how it means? Like, this is it. It was meant to be.
Well, was it?
It doesn't matter. Not the if, buts and maybes or shoulda, woulda, couldas, which I can't stand, if only. But, yeah, I understand what you're saying. But time is an unstoppable force.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said earlier, it reveals all things. You know, well, there's so many people today who argue about the political times, the geopolitical times that we're in, and sometimes it's worthwhile just saying, hang on, dude, step back, take a deep breath. I can't do anything about it. I can't influence it. I'm not a major player. Let's just wait and see what happens.
Do you like spending time with yourself, Molly?
I do, actually, because I don't really spend time with myself. I spend time...
Then who are you spending time with?
I'm spending time by myself doing what I like. So I find that satisfactory. I don't feel, aimless, I'm stressed because, I don't know what to do. I have been through periods of that in the past, and it's quite, you're anxious about a lot of things and your anxiety levels rise. You don't know why, but you think, I just don't know where I'm going or what's going to happen in the future. You know, everything's okay. I've got good health, got $1 in my pocket. Everything's fine, but you're still anxious.
Would you like to spend time alone?
Yeah, I find that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think I'd like to spend 5 years alone.
No, I don't think a lot of people would. But where, if you had the opportunity, where would you like to spend your time?
Well, it's a good question. Two places come to mind, and then once I tell you mine, you have to tell me yours.
Sure, easy.
Now, I've been to the north of England, and I stayed at a little town called Robin Hood's Bay in Yorkshire.
Oh, I know it well. I've been there many times. We had George Burgess come in. He knows the place.
We stayed in a bed and breakfast, and the weather was foul. The wind was howling, and it was raining, and it was bloody cold. And we're staying in this bed and breakfast, and it was kind of like the quintessential, stereotypical, comfortable place where you've got big windows looking out over the wild ocean, and there's a fireplace going there, the carpet's deep, and the lounge chair is sweet and beautiful, and there's books on the shelf. And that's the type of place where I'd like to spend a lot of time by myself in this wonderful environment where all I have to do is sit down next to a nice cozy fire, got a nice, very comfortable sofa, great books, and I'm looking out over the wild ocean, but I'm comfortable. Also, this trip that I'm planning to do next month up into Kazakhstan may take me back up into Russia to a city called Kazan. Now, I'm coming back from the Eurasian trip myself to Australia, and one of the possibilities of my return back is the eastbound massive trip on the Trans-Siberian Railway, which will be for possibly about 5 days, where I'll just be sitting there by myself. Depends who you talk to about that trip. Some people say it's marvellous. Some people say it's so boring because Eastern Russia is just so vast and flat. All you see is endless plains and trees. But if you've got a good book, which I intend to take, then those 5 days sitting on the train, which I love trains. I love train rides.
I think it's a tram then.
I love train rides. I'm just sitting there every day, click, reading the book. Okay. Nobody to bother me. Yeah, perfect.
All right.
Now where would you like to spend your time alone?
Well, I'd like to spend more time with myself. Mm-hmm. I'd like to discover more about me and my.
You're talking from an introspective point of view.
No, that's just one part of it. Second part of it, obviously, spend time with my family and my grandchildren and my friends. That is very well time spent. Also, I'd like to spend time with people who I don't know. I'd like to get to know people. And I've never been a people person, but as I'm getting older, I want to spend time doing that. I want to spend time in the community as well. Well, because we produce the Noosa Pirates podcast, the local rugby league team here, and they do so much for the community, it made me think, what do I do? What am I doing with my time that these people give up their time to do? And it really inspired me. So I would like to do that as well. I'd like to spend more time traveling, like you were saying, but I'd just like to have more time. I want to use the time. I don't want to waste the time. Like I said to you before, I can't throw away 12 years that happened in my life where certain individuals came in. Otherwise, I find that a terrible waste. So I have to take that time, work with it, beat it up a few times, shape it into a better form than what I visualized it to be. So that's what my time is.
Can I jump in here?
Yes.
I find that very interesting. So I've just said, and I like people, I'm quite sociable and very comfortable talking to just about anybody. So I just mentioned if I'm spending 5 days on the Trans-Siberian Railway, I would like to spend it by myself with a book, just me. And I would go to the dining carriage and just do my own thing. You're telling me that if you're on that trip for 5 days, you'd be seeking company. You'd like to meet people.
Yes, I would want to be sharing or listening to their lives or who they are and their experiences, because I think it would add to mine. Everywhere I've gone, like I say, I don't really look at myself as like you like you said, you'll talk to anybody and you'll strike up conversations. And I'm not like that. I'm not picky, but I'm choosy.
A little bit more private, which I find it quite funny that you're telling me that you'd like to talk to all these strangers that you meet.
Because now who I am and the time frame that I have and listening to other people with the podcast, because I do a lot of editing, I listen, especially with your podcast, Surftown, and I hear of how surfing came about and they're standing on the shoulders of giants. I'm awe-inspired by that and the time that they spent to do that. And I'm listening to that and I'm thinking, I love this. And I said to you, I don't mind the editing, even though it takes a long time. I get a lot from that. And so listening to the Pirates as well, and Liam's had a few of the rugby guys in, they're gentle giants. They really are. And so it encourages me to do more. And so I'm thinking I should get out there. Not that everybody that comes in to our studio are lovely and they're just amazing people. I don't know, but my gut feeling tells me that. And so I don't want to waste time on somebody that I know that doesn't want to talk. They don't want to bring forward. You just know. You have that gut feeling. That's over time. Again, we're talking about time.
So you want to use your time wisely, and you want to invest it in something that's positive for others, which will ultimately give you some satisfaction yourself.
I want it to be productive. I don't want to waste time. I think it'd be terrible.
Yeah, and therefore time would be your friend if you were being productive.
Yes, or going, can't wait till Friday. Well, it's only Monday. I don't care. I want to get to Friday. Well, what about stuff you're doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? No, I don't care about that. I just want to live for Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, this is an interesting conversation. I started with the little story about the older guy who said to me as he looked at his wristwatch, what's the old enemy saying? So he was more or less inferring that tick, 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 I'm going to die one day. So that the time from his perspective was the enemy because it's going to claim him.
TikTok, Mully.
Which it will for all of us.
It will.
And
there's no getting out of it.
No, we've got to resolve ourselves to that. I've got a friend, he's terrified of death.
Yes, I've got a few.
And, it's like, dude, I'm sorry, but, that's where you're going.
But as we were talking before, and we said this, and I only spoke about it with my beautiful wife this morning, I came in this world alone, and I'll be leaving this world alone. What they have been doing experiments on and test on is that once you depart or you take your last breath, your brain stays alive for 7 minutes. So I want to make those 7 minutes, I said to you before, the most wonderful, thought-filled crescendo of see you later, brother, I'm out of here.
Oh, that was a big one.
But I've loved this. As always, Mully, you do come out with some really good ones. And as you say, and you said in the beginning, well, we sort of really know the answer. Yeah, but it's still thought-provoking.
Yeah, well, that's what we like to do, provoke and prompt. We're not sages. But I've got a friend in Athens, and I love him dearly. He's Greek Aussie, and he's going to come on in the future, and we're going to discuss. G'day, Danny.
Go, mate.
Go the Blues.
Bloody hell, mate.
He's a massive Carlton AFL fan, and they had a win on the weekend, which pleased him no end because they've been going through a very bleak time of a long run of defeats after a period of promising, but didn't delete.
Before you get into sport or politics or geopolitics, Mully, as always, mate, it's my pleasure to leave you the last word.
I just didn't finish my thought there. I'll get over it. We have run out of time, and it has been good. So, look, great to be here and sharing all this with you, mate, and to all our listeners.
Okay, let's do that again.
Well, I haven't quite finished what I was going to say there, but never mind. We'll pick that up in the future because I've got a very special episode with Danny coming along, and I won't mention what we're talking about. But, yeah, we're at the end of our time, Lee. It's been great, and so good to catch up with you again, mate, over our microphones and desk. And to all your listeners out there, goodbye, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Don't Get Me Started with Keith and Lee. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Don't Get Me Started, jump onto our socials, follow us on Instagram at Lethal and Mully, Facebook and LinkedIn. If you would like to be a part of the show, email us on don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. Until next time.